Welcome back, curling fans from Calgary, Alberta, Canada. A lovely view of downtown with the Calgary Curling Club in the foreground, just on the north side of the Bow River here. And the home for the World Curling Federation, the LGT World Women's Curling Championship, has been Canada Olympic Park, and specifically the Winsport Arena, as we're down to the final couple sessions to determine the top 6 teams into the playoff picture. We've had a little bit of a break, but we've settled all that out, and we're back in the building, and it feels great. Luke Collier will be joined with Olympic and world champion Kevin Martin shortly. Session 23, Switzerland taking on Germany. Important game for Switzerland. They can get top spot in the round robin. Germany still has playoff hopes. So we're into that position. Now let's get a chance. We'll meet the teams. For Switzerland, their lead, Melanie Barbazat. Their second, Esther Neuenschwander. Skip throwing third stones for Switzerland, and the reigning world champ, Silvana Tiranzoni. Their fourth stone thrower is Alina Petz. And a story early in the week was Germany. They're playing with 3 all week. Their skip, Daniela Jentsch, their third, Mia Hone, and their lead, Annalena Jentsch. Of course, a couple players testing positive. They haven't been able to play. It's very disappointing they haven't been, but they've done very well with just 3 players throughout the week. So here are the standings coming into session 23. RCF, Switzerland, Sweden, and Denmark are now qualified for the playoffs. 4 teams. Canada, the US at 7 and 6, then Germany, Korea, and Scotland, all at that 6 and 6 mark. Lots to discuss here. Then China, Japan with 7 losses, Czech Republic 3 and 8, Italy and Estonia round out the field with 10 losses. All the games going on here in this session. Korea taking on Czech Republic, so we'll keep an eye on Korea at 6 and 6. 6 and 6, Germany takes on Switzerland. Our feature game is on Sheet B. Sheet C, it's Sweden, 8 and 3, taking on 2 and 10 Italy, and Japan at 4 and 7, taking on Estonia. On Sheet D, that sets up session 23. We obviously have one more tonight as well, but we get into the final stages. Everything's sort of playing itself out. It's clear as mud right now to determine who's going to be into the playoffs.
Yeah, isn't that the truth? But what a great showing for Team Germany, to have all that stuff happen before the event starts, and three-handed, able to get to this position where a win, they're in the mix. Fantastic.
Yeah, and then it becomes scenarios, and we'll talk about throughout that. They just got to win. That's all that's on their plate. Go out and win this game. Switzerland, on the other hand, they have a chance. They can finish top of the standings with a win in this game.
Yeah, that's the only problem for Team Germany is who they have to play. And they've just been absolutely fantastic all week. High percentage playing, and they're obviously going to be very difficult to beat today.
Yeah, they are the reigning world champions. They want that #1 spot. The top 2 teams will be straight into the semifinals for tomorrow. And they have the qualifying games. Germany coming in at 6 and 6. Looking to try and get in. Obviously, those top 6 teams qualify for the Olympic Winter Games. We know Denmark has now qualified as the 4th team, so we know 4 of the 6 that'll be heading to Beijing next year. Pardon me, 5 of the 10 teams, because we know China will be the host team.
Correct. Right. So
it'll be a lot of fun action to see out there. It's nice to get back in the building and back watching and giving you the coverage here of the LGT World Women's Curling Championship 2021. And of course, the teams kept going. Switzerland scored an 8-ender this week. So they've had an eventful week in trying to defend their title.
Yeah, can you imagine an 8-ender at a World Championship? Well, I can't imagine it, but I guess one for the record books.
Yeah, it had never been done. Let's see the last stone draw numbers. Switzerland will have the hammer to start. 52.2 centimeters, while Germany 347.3. Not really the draw shot numbers you want to see, but they know they just got to win this game. And obviously it may come down to draw shot numbers in some of the different scenarios that are in, and there's teams off the ice that are finished, like Canada and the US, that are just watching.
And they know the situations as well. Everybody, there's lots of situations, but of course everybody's studied a lot to know where they stand.
And so for Germany with 3 players, Annalena Jentsch, the lead. 23-year-old, she will throw the first 3 stones.
Schaut gut aus. Sieht nicht so schlecht aus. Sieht noch flott aus. 14,6. Schön zu sehen. Ja,
Gut
gut
gesehen.
so.
So tight center line guard, and now Switzerland. They're a very aggressive team. No problem playing this for Melanie Barbazat. 29-year-old lead, and the Swiss team has been playing very well all week.
Very well, and they will be aggressive every end. I guess when you're playing this well, high percentage all the time, it makes sense to be aggressive, because really, if you could win 6 or 7 of the 10 ends, the scoreboard will look after itself. And if you're curling in the 85 to 90 range every game, the math just makes sense.
We've been doing a lot of math. We've had time on our hands to do some of that, to figure it out. That went a little deep to start off this game for Switzerland.
For Team Germany, they want to make sure they freeze to that back stone. A lot of 3 and 4 enders. If you end up coming into the top 4, Switzerland puts an angle freeze on you. 3 is in the mix right away. So the call is the freeze. So a little bit short of the freeze. That may see that being a problem later on. We'll see. So trying to freeze it on an angle. And it doesn't really matter if it's on if you get a cross face or it hangs out to the angle, as long as it's not pointing at the back one. That is a slight angle. Well done.
A little bit of tap and some separation, all playing around that just off center line guard.
Try to promote this red one past the yellow in the back, get across the face a little bit. Would be terrific result.
Well, Annalena, the younger sister of the skip, Daniela.
Just hanging out a little bit.
Well, just changes those angles again. It's shot stone right on the button, belonging to Switzerland.
The angles right now are really quite good for Team Switzerland. That's why Sylvana's having a look at hitting the guard and rolling into the rings for another one, another counter.
Well, Esther Nieuwenschwander, this team staying intact from a couple years ago when they beat Sweden in an extra end to win that World Championship. And that one just over curls and leaves it out in front.
That was definitely not the idea.
Look at the rules of play here in round robin. 6 ends minimum, 38 minutes of thinking time with 1 60-second timeout. Will be a little weird for some people. We're in session 23. There's 23 round robin sessions. There's still one more to go. We'll have session 7 tonight that was postponed. So Germany's last game, Switzerland will play again tonight and to finish up the round robin portion.
I'm trying to move the shot stone and roll behind the red stone that Esther just threw. Very nice. Very nice shot.
Gets the little roll, moves that one back to lie 3.
Yeah, the weight control on this, very nice. Couldn't make it much better than that. Excellent shot. So in-turn double now for Esther, trying to hit the rock in the top of the forefoot, very thin. starting to move. Wants to be really thin on this first one. Well, it certainly was.
Too thin all as it slides right through, but they get rid of those two out of the forefoot.
Yeah, moves play away from that 4-foot circle. Would have liked this to curl up just a little bit and be able to stay in the button area, but got rid of both yellows and moved everything back behind the tee line. So the odds of a steal now are quite slim, and the chances of a multiple score are still there.
Mihone, the third. She'll throw the second set of 3 stones for them. Of course, the last name familiar for many curling fans is her father, Holger. Played in 3 Olympics, 11 World Championships, 2-time silver medalist, and 3 bronze medals.
A little bit heavy on that. Would have liked that to be in the top 8 or top 4 foot. Now the come around tap, sit on top would leave Team Switzerland with shot rock, first, third, and fourth. That's not a great situation for Team Germany. That was a little bit heavy, that one. Could cause some problems.
That was the spot they didn't. The top of the forefoot, obviously, much better than where it ended up. Well, that's what Silvana, the skip of this team, throws the third stones.
Trying to get right on the nose and stay frozen to the yellow stone. Looks pretty good. And stays frozen, so that's super. Yep,
super.
Oh, yeah.
keeps a good angle still on that, even though it's not perfectly on the nose.
Yeah, it's an excellent shot. Trying to be just off the nose so that both rocks drag together. Yeah, that. In a perfect world, maybe the red doesn't roll quite so far, but that's awfully good.
So they line it up trying to play that double on those back too?
Well, yeah, you're sort of into it now, and you don't want to play to the top ones in case you roll off, be a hit to lie 4. So make the back double. Try to hold Switzerland only 2 points. It's a little bit tight though. Oh no.
Worst case scenario, touching that top one, rolling off.
You know what? It's so often the case when you don't make that freeze early in the end, it causes play to the front forefoot, leaving the opposition stones in the back of the house. And here it is. 3 or 4 is now on the table, and it really all stems from not making that back freeze early.
The first shot, or the second shot?
The second shot, yep. And that's just something that needs to be made, or you give up a lot of 3-unders, and potentially that's what we're looking at here. The key to this shot is not being behind the tee line. Just front 8, front 4, line looks really good. Just want to bury a little to not set up a double. That's buried a little. That's perfect.
Top forefoot, back forefoot. And those 4 reds in there, just that lonely yellow.
And you can see that yellow in the top 4 is tucked a little bit. Scary to try to hit it because you might jam on your back yellow, and then it's a hit to lie 5.
Well, and that's what it looks like Daniela's going after.
Yeah, you know what? I might still make that back double. Make
Limits the
double,
damage.
and then expecting Team Switzerland to come around, and then maybe freeze on the button for your saving shot and not give up more than 2.
You wouldn't play that at this point? You play the double,
freeze?
try and
Yeah. Well, the double, well, the problem with this call is if you make it perfect, great. This is a very difficult shot. Got to get to the nose or slightly across.
Well, Daniela, obviously Needs to come up with a couple of shots. Don't want to lose the game in the first end.
Achtung. Sauber. Oh. Curl. Curl. Alles aufs Curl fest.
Needs to curl, does not want to jam it on the back. Yellow. Does not want to jam it.
Raus, Mia, raus, 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 raus,
Oh.
raus, raus, raus.
Got away with it. Still sitting first, third, and fourth, though, so the hit now live 4.
So the 4 is on, not a possible 5, that if that one sticks around.
Right, right. Still, though, scary.
Both these teams, lots to play for. Switzerland knows they're into the playoffs. Chance to get the #1 seed. Germany, playoff hopes alive at 6-6, need a win. A loss and they're eliminated. Alina Petz, two-time world champion.
And just a really, really consistent shooter. Day in and day out, makes a lot of shots. And wanting to stay in the rings here, near the nose would be great. Wanting to make sure they stick around.
Rolls to the in front.
Well, a nose hit here on that red stone on the button could set up a triple.
Not quite precise with that roll. And is there an opening now for Germany?
To maybe get rid of 3, that would be a really good result. I'm worried it may not hit the one in the back 8 and actually just hit the red in the back 12 and roll over and bump the yellow. Might still give up 3, but with making this double, the 4 is out of play. And if it does touch the one in the back 8, then it'll only be for 2. So big chance here to maybe make a triple. It's close.
Well, trying to limit the damage here will be Daniela Jentsch, Team Germany, in this first end to play her last stone, facing 4.
Oh. 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 Curl. Oh.
Close to getting rid of.
Oh, just makes the double, but still eliminates 2. Draw for 3 now as that one rolls out.
Genug bewegt, gell?
Nee, also leicht, aber nicht genug. Weil ich dachte, dass das so passt.
We talked about hitting the nose on that one. You might have been able to make the triple, and I think you would have. It actually touched that back one.
I think you're right. It would have made the triple had it been close to the nose. Right. Too much drag effect on it.
So Lena Petz will have the draw. Piece of the 8-foot should be good.
Alles bij euch. Die lijn. Super lengte. 41. Komt een beetje weiter rein, natuurlijk.
Looks good coming in. Just cleaning it. A really, really good end for Team Switzerland to start this out.
Well, the strong play. They've been solid all week long. They're continuing it. They start off with an early 3 on the board for the Switzerland team against Germany, who needs a win to have playoff chances.
Ja. Fehler auf der richtigen Seite.
Genau, Plan B. Und ganz einfach 2 zurück.
Ja, gut.
Gut, auf geht's.
So a 3-0 lead. Switzerland strikes first, capitalizes on some mistakes by their German counterparts. And an early 3 spot for the team out of Switzerland. Germany now gets to go to work with the hammer in the second end.
Well, corner guard goes up. And Team Germany will have to take some chances. And now that's a little bit scary when you're playing a team shooting 90.
Yeah.
You take some chances, but you have to. There's no question. And then just need to make your shots.
And looking at them, you see the corner guard go up. How important, obviously, making shots wins you games in curling, but when you're doing it, lead the skip. It just shows why Switzerland is having such an impressive week.
That's right. Yeah, they're high percentage throughout the team. As a team, I believe they're 87%, Luke, this week. So it's just so strong that they're in first place for the team percentage for the entire week.
Well, and Melanie started that. Perfect top of the house. Look to protect it. And even that 3 in that first, there were some mistakes by Switzerland. It could have been more.
The big one was the not making the freeze, because the next, if you think back, the next shot is just a bump, okay? And then actually a bump back was made pretty good, so nothing yet. But without making that freeze, you're just in trouble forever.
In that chase position from the start.
From the start, you're coming from behind, and yeah, so often it turns out to be a 3. Could have easily been a 4 or a 5 even, Luke.
And so Germany has the hammer, trying to use that corner guard, and they're trying to little hit and roll, tap and roll.
Very tight to the red guard, though.
And they can't remove that one with the free guard zone rule. That stays out in front.
Oh, stayed in the rings, though, so that matters. Brings the corner guard into play. I would imagine Silvana will hit the back one. So now the come around the corner is available. So it's a big difference between having that rock stay or not.
Yeah, if it rolls out, then the corner guards. You're probably playing to the center still early in the free guard zone roll.
Exactly. You can play tight guard or something in the top 12. And you might never get to use that corner. But now you'll get to right away here.
And right on the nose to stick to lie 2. See the German coach, Uli Kapp. I mentioned Mia Hone's father, Holger, and played with Uli a number of years. He's been here a long time, Uli, in Calgary. He was here for the men's team, stayed for the time period between, and then has done a great job dealing with all the stuff, all the adversity they've had to deal with off the ice, and got them focused on the game.
Yeah, excellent coach. What a good person to have coaching the national program. Germany, of course, would have, I don't know how many worlds Uli and his brother played in, but many. And we played him a lot of times.
A number of them. And another guy that you've seen a few times, Kevin and Pierre Charette, coaching this Swiss team.
Just a really smart curling mind, Pierre, and has done so much for our sport. Around all the different areas, and very involved with the Grand Slam property. But another terrific coach to have. Pierre, I believe, is a member of the Canadian Curling Hall of Fame as well.
A well-earned honor for Pierre there, and working with this team. Seeing a lot of very smart curling minds and great curling minds out there coaching all across the world.
Playing the out-turn tap. This rock is hanging a little bit. It's going to have to do some finishing to make contact. I don't know if it will. It doesn't. So maybe just a little bit heavy on that one for Esther. Wanting about hack weight, and that was probably 8 to 10 feet heavier than hack. So a bit of an uncharacteristic miss.
So the
there.
overthrow, obviously, it'll As hanging out, running a lot straighter, won't get that same curl that a quieter weight would.
The late finish, right. It'll curl, say 7, 8, 9 feet later, so then you just don't make contact.
It's a good opening now for Germany.
Länge ist gut.
Try and take
Das ist
advantage.
auch gut. Vorne 8.
I'll put another one around the corner.
Komm, bisschen runter. Ja, dann bleib dran. Das ist gut.
Bury this stone, and then all of a sudden a 3 is in play to come right back.
Dann nur vorne 12 abkühlen. Halt, 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 halt.
Needs to bury though, that's important.
You're seeing Annalena hop back and forth, which side of the rock they're trying to get that late finish.
Pretty much buried. Silvana can maybe see a third of the rock in the top 8. We'll go after it. The way to miss this rock isn't breezing by, it's hitting the corner guard. If you miss at all, you rack on the corner, roll into the house. That was another problem with Esther's, just overthrew it and missed it the wrong way. So back line, that'll get lots of curl with that weight.
Now Esther trying to hold this one for Silvana, and they'll get by.
Well, will it have enough to remove the second yellow?
Doesn't get rid of it, but the red on the left side of your screen outcounts it.
The red's the better biter. That's still, though, that back biter may come into play yet. So Savannah won't be happy with that. Would have liked to have a little bit more weight on it to get rid of one yellow. So now the double will be played to sit first, second, and fourth for Team Germany. So about a half rock on the center line one.
Trying to make these two reds disappear. Get one, there's the second. And you said it, Kevin. Now, just that one red in there could bring that one into play.
Yeah, really good throw. Could have maybe hit that just a touch thinner and made the triple on the reds and sat 3, but wanted to be sure of the double, so that makes sense.
Is there enough of this to play the double?
Just off the nose, absolutely. Try to hit it just off the nose, roll to the center line and make the double to sit 2. Not easy though. A lot of times this won't curl enough because you don't want to hit the guard. Looks pretty good line-wise though. Trying to hit it just off the nose.
Catch it and we'll make the nose hit. Misses the double.
So now with that miss, that was a makeable double. It's possible for Team Germany now to hit the red and roll behind the corner. All 3 rocks would be behind the corner, and yellow would be sitting first and second. So this is a big opportunity to get the 3 points right back. Trying to get the roll behind the corner guards. Has to curl lots. It's close. Oh, pretty good.
No roll, nose hit. Get another chance of this double, it looks, for Switzerland.
It's a little more difficult now. Those are two more rocks of distance. Same thing, just off the nose.
Lena Petz, also a world mixed doubles champion. Go along to the world championship on the women's side. No stranger to being in the playoffs and into the those final few games in that gold medal matchup where they want to be again. Looking at the double.
Okay.
Actually touches that back one, but it stays on the rings.
It's so close to getting rid of 2, but no, not quite.
That one being stubborn and sticks around.
But now there might be a chance to make the double on the reds and roll behind the corner. And bring it at least 3 into play. So about a half rock and not too heavy.
Auf geht's.
Denk Nase, ist fast besser. Okay, oder?
Fand ich auch gut.
Soll ich ein bisschen weniger geben? Bist du weniger? Na gut, sie hat den.
Well, let's look over at sheet A, Korea and Czech Republic. Korea comes in 6-6. They're taking on Anna Kubashkova 3-8, but Korea, though, the team to watch at 6-6.
And red is sitting first shot in the top 12 foot. The back red is not in. It's just slightly out, so there's no play on second shot for more than 2. So this will be an in-turn draw, needing full 12 foot, full of multiple score.
Korea kept himself alive earlier today with a win over Sweden in revenge of that Olympic gold medal game in 2018. And they start off with 2 here. Need to win again to have any chance of getting into the playoffs. And well, Daniela Jentsch unable to make that double or even hold her shooter, rolls out. So now,
Yeah, that was a big error. It's a really good opportunity, but rolled out.
and if you look, actually touched that Yellowstone, pushed it out. So go from having a chance where you make that, you might score, have 2 or 3. Now looking at a force.
Yeah, for Lena, just has to hit and stay in the rings someplace, and the force is on. Anywhere near the nose is just fine. And
A real big sweep from Barbazat to try and carve it at the end, get to the nose, and lie 2.
And just like that, from a 3 or a 4 to now needing a hit and stay for 1. This is a spot in the ice, though, that's been played lots. We should have a good idea of how it runs. So Daniela.
So the last stone here of the second. Facing a couple counters, needs the nose hit.
Looks just fine. Good shot.
Right on the nose, nose hit. So a single point. Germany only able to get 1 out of that. They had chances. They let them slip. And they'll hand the hammer back to Switzerland, who lead 3-1 after 2 ends.
Mir ist nachher wieder in den Sinn, ich habe das Bier gesagt, hat meine scheint fest gegurlt in Practice.
Well, we begin end 3. And you're watching our live coverage of the LGT World Women's Curling Championship 2021. We're in the Winsport Arena at Canada Olympic Park. Our feature game here is Switzerland taking on Germany. Luke Coley here, alongside Olympic and world champion Kevin Martin. And probably a stone that Danielle Jensch would like to have back with her first.
No question. You know, the double would have been terrific and roll behind the corner, but even a nose hit, it would have been good for 2. And, you know, it's just, that was an unfortunate miss. It looked like maybe might have iced a little tight, and maybe just didn't quite give enough ice. And the rock, the way they curl off center here, they go like, like crazy off center line, and that's exactly what happened.
So they'll have to go on the offense without the hammer here. Starts with the high center line guard. 3-1 game, obviously early. Germany doesn't have to go all out, but you can't give up another, obviously 3, but even a 2 is tough to come back.
That's right. No, and but you do have to take some chances. But you're right. There's no need to throw the double centers and you know, take too many chances yet. You're early in the game, but make this freeze and you know, try to make a good 8 out of 8 rocks this end. And that was kind of all our teams trying to come back in the game. Not so worried about scoreboard and anything else. Just let's make 8 out of 8, and then let's see.
Do what we can do and not think of all the other factors.
Right. Try to keep all the other stuff out of your mind.
Well, let's keep an eye on all the other games here in this session. Japan, Estonia, over on sheet D.
A terrific opportunity here for Team Estonia to make the in-turn hit here. And maybe nose roll in a little bit for 2 points and really get a good start in this game. Does, right on the nose. Good start. 2-0 after 2.
And that Estonia team, they picked up their first win ever at a World Championship earlier this week, beating Germany. They're in their first Worlds on the women's side. So a nice start there against Japan, trying to finish off on a high note. Obviously, they're not in the playoffs. Team that is in the playoffs, we know, is Sweden. They're taking on Italy.
Yeah, Team Sweden, that's another really tough team to beat. Just such consistent players. Anna Hasselborg. Her last one down 1. Italy taking a point in the first. Now a hit and stay. You can see the top. Oh, but does roll too far. So that's a bit of a surprise. So another steal. So 2-0 now. Team Italy after 2 up on Sweden.
And Sweden coming off a loss earlier today already against Korea. They lost. It's a little surprising seeing that. You almost put Anna Hasselborg an open hit. She's going to make that a lot of the time. Oh, and look at the double made without disturbing the Reds for Switzerland here in our feature game.
Went out just clean. This is a tough shot. Has to hit this fairly thin. But you look at this. Hit about a third, maybe a quarter. Got rid of both yellows. Terrific. Very exacting.
Yeah, one of those ones you look at, you're like, how didn't you touch those other 2? So all of a sudden, Switzerland lying 2, up by 2 in the game.
And both are buried. So needing a really good shot here is Team Germany to move one of the rocks. That's fine. Looks good. Oh, very good. Gets both red stones out from behind the guard. Really well done. And stayed behind with the shooter.
See the switch of the sweep by the single sweeper for Germany. Which side of the stone? Pushes them back.
Well, after a terrific double now, Esther being asked to throw a draw into the top 8 foot. Try to bury a little wee bit of it. Does not set up a double. A lot of room on this one, though.
Beide Sport. Ich hänge 4 immer noch.
Okay, Achtung, mach die parat.
Vorne 4. Nochmal nach vorne 4.
Komische Spur.
Trying to bury a little.
Okay.
Might have behind the long guard. Pretty good shot in front of the tee.
So it is Switzerland lying 3.
Ja, finde ich eigentlich auch nicht schlecht.
Ja, wir müssen jetzt nicht in die nächste Hütte reinlaufen, glaube ich.
Ja.
Kiel einfach beide.
So
Okay.
I don't think the double is the call here. Make the double and roll out. Doesn't really help your situation. So try to hit nose or maybe a little roll behind with kind of hack weight, maybe board weight. Oh, coming in, trying to make the double. Thought maybe it would have wiggled behind the guards in an attempt to make a steal.
Well, trying to make both of them go away first, and we'll do that. But rolls out, as you said, Kevin, so still wide open forefoot.
Kind of takes the pressure off of Team Switzerland. Good shot, though. That was the call. Made the perfect double. But now the intern tap for Sylvana to make, to lie 2. And that the yellow guard, even if a person were to come around to the 8 foot, it's such a long guard that you can come around and tap it out.
So Switzerland make this. It's not as difficult. It's you're open up that scoring zone a lot more, and you're forcing Germany to make some precise shots.
Yeah, and Annalena had made this exact tap earlier in the end. So this might be hanging a little. Oh, will it stick around? It does. Nice shot. Well done for Sylvana.
So just hangs around.
Oh, hit and roll. Try to hit and roll in front of the other red stone, the shot stone. This is really moving, though. Trying to hold it as best as can. Pretty well swept. I was thinking early that will be tough to hold enough to hit it.
Once it goes, they're really, really tough to hold
Away
that.
from center. When they go away from center, look at this curl. Terrific job holding that rock. Really well done for a single sweeper. It's really tough when you're sweeping by yourself.
And this is game 13 for Annalena. Like, she's going to need a long time to rest and recuperate.
Shows the physical condition, though.
Absolutely.
You know, in fantastic shape to be able to do this. That's just an incredible amount of sweeping by yourself. For Sylvana now, with the guard being so long, there's not really any advantage for Switzerland to come around the center. So just split the house and either hold your 2 points or take an easy blank. Whichever, they're both happy with. They're happy with either scenario. Want this to the tee line to make the double difficult, but I don't know if it's going to get far enough.
So top 12 foot, there is some bit of an angle if you wanted to, but it's a real steep double to make. So Kevin, it really boils down to you play the double or try and play the hit and roll.
Well, in a perfect world, you could make the double, but it's so steep. The odds of making it aren't great. So the roll, I really think the roll's good, but you could roll in front of the other red. Might be
Some
the better
options.
call. Right.
They were sizing up, but I'm not sure exactly if they're playing the double or trying to roll this in front.
Plenty of weight. Looks like a double.
Well, Annalena again.
good result.
Okay.
Ah, ich glaube, ich tue den Stein jetzt dann doch mal weg.
Ja, das ist mir echt unsympathisch.
These teams take on that double so much, and then you roll
Den
out,
mag ich gar nicht.
and then you don't have a double on the next one. There, at least they're going to give themselves something on their last shot to try and get out of it.
Was ist das? Nase oder ein bisschen raus?
Nase oder ein
A nose hit here, though, if you're watching, a nose hit the double on the thin way, the guard's in the way. So then you're going to have to hit, oh boy, like an inch to make the slash double. So nose hit here really puts Team Germany in trouble to not give up two.
Super, Lenny.
Squat, squat. Sehr.
Trying to be exactly on the nose.
Ja, 2-6. Schön. 2-6.
Yeah, it's very good because even the hit and roll behind the center guard won't be shot rock. So it's a perfect scenario for Team Switzerland. So hit and stay on the back one. You could roll to center and be shot stone, make it a little bit tougher for the in-turn or out-turn tap for Alina.
Just try and make that shot for two as difficult as you can. but
Understanding that it's going to be possible.
yes.
There's nothing Daniela can do to make a 2 points not possible. So make it as tough as you can.
Achtung.
Ja. Oh. Yep. 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 Halten Sie fest.
Oh, big sweep trying to hold it. And able to save it again to just remove that stone.
Das ist ja brutal.
Every rock, though, having to sweep from end to end.
Weil sobald du hoch bist, ist
The
er
toll
One.
is tough. Look at this.
Holding it really well, though.
Da kam mir sogar eher schneller vor.
That's to this end that I think Annalena is saved. Without her sweeping, they're misses completely. So, well done. Really well done. But it's still a
Open
draw
draw.
for two.
Alina Petz put this one in the rings and double their lead against Germany. Again, if Switzerland wins, they're the #1 seed into the playoffs.
Einfach auch Fuß.
14-7. Schön.
Tipptopp.
No problem.
Gut, Patsy.
Well, nicely done. Just a light clean from the sweepers. No big scrub on that for Switzerland. It is 2 more on the board and a 5-1 Swiss lead over Germany through 3 ends.
Ich glaube, vor mit 70 bis 90 kann man alles ins Haus. Es wäre einfach, dass du der Erste, der curlt unkontrollierbar. Ich hatte jetzt richtig viel Spin drauf. Und der vorne 4.
A 5-1 game, or feature game, is Switzerland taking on Germany. The Winsport Arena. Here, the last event as part of the curling bubble in Calgary, Alberta, Canada.
Ganz viel.
Switzerland is trying to do as the male counterparts from Sweden win. The reigning champ win again. It was Niklas Edin and Sweden winning the men's It was three-peat for him, but winning the last World Champion, Switzerland winning their last. As we look at all the scores here in session 23, Korea leads Czech Republic 2-1. We're 5-1 in the fourth. 4-2 Sweden leads Italy, and Estonia up 2-1 over Japan early on in this session. Of course, we do have one more session to wrap up round robin tonight.
Whoa, whoa! Weg, weg.
And this first guard will not be a guard. It slides into the house.
Certainly makes multiple scores difficult to get when the guard slides in. Now Team Switzerland can hit and roll into the middle.
Melanie Barba's at 90% on the tournament.
Number one in the whole field.
I think that's a common theme we're going to hear when we see these numbers throughout this end.
Of course, if your lead throws, well, 90, a terrific number, throws 90, you can imagine that Esther's shots get a little easier, and so on, and so on, and so on, because, of course, you usually have the other team in trouble all the time.
And that's definitely helps in winning curling games. We see Annalena Jensch at 80%. Mind you, she is throwing an extra stone per end, but 80% sort of shows where, as a team goes, where they end up in the standings.
Right, that's a couple of shots per game, or 4 half shots difference, and that will relate to the standings. We'll keep talking about as we see numbers going on here this end.
Well, there the corner guard, and as you said, Kevin, that made shot now makes the next shot a little easier. But when your opponent's making 90%, your shot's becoming harder.
That's absolutely correct. Yeah, that is a perfect corner guard, though. You'll use that later.
Esther Neuenschwander, 86%.
Number one in the field.
Okay, 2 for 2.
And actually, you've seen that this game, just how well Esther's been playing. Top of 12.
Well, Switzerland lying 3 into the top of the rings.
And the reason that is so good, the red stone, if you do try the hit and roll behind the corner, you jam on the one on the 4 foot and you won't get even second shot. You'd be third shot. So the placement of the rock, not just good, but exact. Trying to go around the corner guard.
Well, it just taps and moves around those 2 in the 4 foot now.
It's inviting. Savannah's having a look at coming around into the top 8 foot, but the scoreboard says peel the guard. And is peeling the guard.
It was pretty quickly agreed upon at the other end.
Well, you know, it is a really good situation for Team Switzerland in the house if you come around in the top 8, but it's 5-1. So peel the guard and carry on. I totally agree with the call. Nicely done.
Ja.
Trying to get a little roll over a little bit. A little bit more.
A little more would have been nice, right? Splitting center line.
Yep. If it rolls just a little bit more, it would have been buried slightly behind the yellow biter, but now it's available for the hit and stay for Team Switzerland, for Silvana. In turn, probably heavy board, light takeout kind of weight. And of course, the tolerance here is if Silvana were to miss, you'd hit a little bit of the yellow biter and knock it out of play. And that would be just fine. From a stats point of view, the
That's where
team's
you want to
happy.
So Silvana Tiranzoni throwing the third stones, 86%.
Well, number one
Number one.
in the stats again. Solid numbers throughout the entire event.
Well, there's the hit, roll away, and lie 3.
That's 2 already in this game. This is only the 4th end, and that's 2 in-turn taps that were very, very difficult that Savannah made. The first one, of course, last end coming around and rolling all the way to an outside biter, which set up the 2 points. And this time, that was a very difficult shot to hold the shooter. Did it again. So making difficult shots look easy.
We'll see me at 75%. So there's an 11-point difference between that position.
And Mia's sitting in 10th place in the field. So, which is pretty much kind of where they're sitting in the grouping.
Yeah, one game of possibly being in the playoffs, but because of the logjam in that 10 spot.
Right. Or 9 or 10. Yes.
Just tap that one up, but over curling on them. Switzerland making their shots, making Germany's that much more difficult, and then not executing, leaving a lower degree of difficulty shot for Switzerland back.
Against a team shooting at basically 90%, yes. Yeah, so you wouldn't expect many misses, but you have to make their shots more difficult. And once again, like Silvana has had a couple of tough shots today, made them perfectly. This one's fairly simple, though. Anywhere near the nose is just fine. The tolerance on this shot would be to over curl and roll out because you'd still be sitting 3. Just doesn't want to under curl and jam.
Well, avoid the jam and little roll in, lie 4.
Absolutely perfect.
Let's keep an eye at Korea, also at 6-6, same as Germany. They lead Czech Republic 2-1.
Well, this is an excellent end by the Czech Republic. Had the house split many rocks ago. We're obviously at a different part of the building, but I've been watching it at least 4 rocks ago. Split house, made every shot perfect, and has forced Team Korea to a hit and stay. So this is, if made, good shot, made the shot for 1 point, but an excellent end by the Czech Republic.
So good force, they confirm it is. So a 3-1 Korean lead over Czech Republic. Again, Korea needs the win to have any chance of being in the playoffs. Obviously different scenarios, depends on what happens in this game and obviously in the session tonight.
A really nice shot. Team Germany making the, well, almost a double, but certainly opened up the 4-foot circle, which was fantastic. The way it wasn't looking very good. With the 2 rocks half in the 4-foot, angled towards the button. Even if you were to hide one on the button, it would have been an easy takeout.
Nose here, or do you risk, you don't need to try and roll under?
Well, it would be by accident. Yeah, nose is great, or even a little roll to the outside.
85% for Alina Petz.
Number 1 in the field.
Oh, I was going to guess that.
Yeah. So number one, and 87 is the team number 1. So, you know, it's just a tough team making everything. Trying to get a nose here.
Nose hit to lie 4. Number 1 across the board, and with a win in this game, they're number 1 in standings.
No surprise.
Just that 1 loss coming at the hands of Sweden. Looking in good form heading into those playoffs starting tomorrow.
Well, there's something to be said to that too, Luke, is making sure you keep that momentum. You can't say, oh, all of a sudden, okay, we're in the playoffs, we're in the 1-2 position, great, we're in the semis, and then just kind of take a break
Take
mentally.
today off almost?
Yeah, kind of like a focus break. You don't want to do that. You want to keep that train going and And that's certainly what we've seen so far today.
Oder eher ein bisschen weniger?
So skip stones for Germany,
Okay.
obviously facing 4. Still have to take a chance to try and score 2.
Still not too bad of a situation if you can go top button, understanding that Alina will have about a 4-foot angle raise, but that's never easy. So yes, this is still a good opportunity. Get in there near the button, maybe even go back 4 and entice Alina maybe to maybe playing a freeze. Probably wouldn't, but you could try to entice her.
So Daniela Jentsch, 74%.
And that's number 9, ninth place. And I believe if Switzerland were to win this game, I think Germany would finish 9th. And that matches the percentages. And it's pretty funny, you know, when you come into big championships, it's basically math. Oh, I like this. Just behind the tee. See if Alina hits it
Or goes to play the freeze.
Right. Oh, they're looking at both right now.
Gut, nochmal gleich schnell. Bisschen schneller, weil der andere
Das
ist nur gerade bis da. Okay, Board. Gut, gut.
Playing the angle race. What a wonderful shot by Daniela to go behind the tee and will they fall for it? Will they fall? No.
Make her think.
Alina's been around too long, but really good shot. Yeah, force in the angle raise here. Not the simplest shot. But anyway, back to the percentages. When you get into a big event, if you're first or second in the percentages, you're not going to be in 8th place. You're going to be near the top of the standings. It's just the way it is.
It all boils down. Make shots, you're going to win a lot of games, and the Swiss team has. And looking to make one more right now and trying to raise this red one up. Quiet weight and stick it right there to lie 5.
Well, and there's nothing you can do about that. You just tip your hat. Good shot, Alina, again. But Danielle's done everything she could do this in. Made the perfect draw, but no, Switzerland made a perfect shot.
When we talked about percentages and where they rank throughout this entire end, we just saw Switzerland put together 8 shots. And the pressure was put on, and even then, Petz came up with that one on her last.
And now it's a tough draw. Same shot pretty much, but not easy to get right into the buttonhole area.
Needs to touch the crown of that LGT logo on the button for Daniela Jentsch in this 4th end.
Länge ist gut. Platz ist gut. Sicher T-Line. Platz ist gut. Bleib dran. Sicher T-Line. Platz ist super. Bleib dran. Platz ist super. Bleib dran. Linie. Das hält bis hier. Okay,
looks good. Has to be exact though. Right on the button.
Touch it, little rub off, take the weight off, and look at that, great shot making Daniela Jentsch. Facing 5, I'm just gonna put this one right on the pinhole and get a single point. Trail 5-2 though, after 4 ends against Switzerland.
War 13-9, also 4.
Scoreboard gleich.
Well, the fifth end after a great shot by German skip Daniela Jentsch. Puts it right on the button. Was facing 5, the pressure shot. Lukola here with Kevin Martin. And Kevin, you've made a lot of draws to the buttons. I don't know how many you had to face when you're against 5, like that position, but a long career for you. I'm sure put it on the button a lot of times to get that crucial point.
Well, that really is something the best skips, and Danielle's been fantastic this whole week, and that's why they're knocking on the door of the playoffs, and that's something to skip for all the young players listening here today. To make sure when you're practicing that you really throw a lot of rocks to the button, because it is something as a skip that you're going to need to be able to do on a consistent basis, and Danielle had just proved it with that one. That was very difficult. Had to be within a couple of inches of the buttonhole and made it.
So the first stone here is we play end number 5. Talked about it, late stages. Switzerland comes in, they're 10-1. Germany 6-6. Germany needs to win to have a chance. Switzerland can guarantee first seed. And Kevin, a team getting that first seed, they all get that bye to the semifinal, but then you get into having your choice of stones, hammer, throughout the playoffs, so they can get that one spot.
You know, and I'm not even sure, after all the years, I'm just not sure if getting those stones or getting the hammer is the most important. They're both super important, because during a big long week like this, 13 game round robin, there are pairs of rocks that players will love. I threw the one in the Olympic final, I threw the 1-4. So not like a 7-8 off of a sheet. I threw the 1-4 off of 2 different sheets. Because you find beautiful stones in the building. And that's what coming in first in a big round robin is, gives you the opportunity to choose the very best, whatever you've loved.
Whatever you had a good feel with, what you've felt has been the one that you're going to get the right result, or the best result out of.
That's right, and we used to keep track, and I'm not sure if every team does or not, and I'd love to hear, but we used to keep track of the percentage of every rock in the building, not players, but actually the stone. So you'd see that some stones would end up 92 or 93 for the week. Other stones would shoot 64 because they're just not quite as good of stones. And so we used to keep track of that, and we always wanted to have 8 stones that we liked, but also that scored well for the week. I know that's pretty technical, and I don't want to, drive people crazy around the world with technical stuff, but it is very important.
Yeah, and these teams, a lot of them do keep a track. Trying to get by the front. Won't. That one touches the front. And that one will spin into the rings, but it's Switzerland who has the hammer here in this 5th end. Again, in the driver's seat, and has Germany chasing them.
Yeah, trying to make this in-turn tap with shot stone and Rex. And it's an interesting scenario again this end. Team Switzerland a chance to maybe come around and really put the pressure on, but Savannah looking at the scoreboard, 5-2. No, Esther, let's make the peel and maybe even blast it onto the yellow on the side of the house. A little bit thin, but that's okay. Opens things up. That's the right call. It's just, it's hard not to come around again and, pour the pressure on when you have a chance.
The mind is a wonderful thing. It makes you, maybe tempts you into playing around. Now we'll see Germany playing a run on their own to that one in the 8-foot. So now they're playing a hit, trying to come back and score points and even steal. Well, Annalena trying to hold this one, and will end up peeling that guard out. So makes a shot for Switzerland. So we look in, Japan and Estonia, and look at all those reds in the back of the 8-foot for Japan.
Yeah, pressure draw here. Pressure situation, needing to find, well, full 8, maybe even into the 4-foot circle. I'll bet Team Estonia is having a great time though, winning a game in the championship, playing well. They throw the rock really well. Kneeing this into the 8-foot circle, maybe even into the 4-foot. Looks pretty good. Oh, that's in there. Well swept. 1 point, 3-1 now after 4.
Great team shot for them. Be a nice way to finish. They'll play Japan here, then they have Switzerland in their last game tonight. But for Estonia, first World Women's Championship appearance. You win a game. Some teams have waited 2-3 appearances before winning a game.
Well, that's right.
The double made on our feature sheet. Wide open, but you look at the growth of the game internationally and with the Olympic Winter Games, obviously a big one. You've been at it multiple times, Kevin. You see the growth and you see these countries, Estonia coming up. Now they bring in Derek Brown as a coach to help with that program and can only go up from here.
Oh, yes, and so many countries are improving their game around the globe. It's wonderful, the growth of our terrific sport. And having top, like Derek Brown, but lots of top curling minds from around the world getting involved with national organizations. It's really helping bring the game, I guess, closer together with lots of nations. I think that's a way to put it.
Yeah, and you just a quick glance around, you look over, you got on one side, I'm just looking at one side, and you got an international coach on 3 of the 4 sheets at the far end from us, and that's not even the close side, the home end. So it's great growth. Everyone knows you need the whole world to have a sport be successful.
Yeah, curling is one of the fastest growing sports in the whole world right now, in winter or summer. And we just want to keep that flow going, and having teams like Estonia doing well does exactly that.
As we see these hits and add to obviously the men's and women's format, the mixed doubles, and the world mixed doubles coming up. The Canadian skip Carrie Einarson will be representing Team Canada along with Brad Gushu over in Aberdeen, Scotland. Not long after this, so no more curling here this season.
It was sure nice to get this much in, though. It's wonderful. For curling fans all over the place. That'll stick around in the side 12-foot.
So skip stones just goes to a different spot. Now you're still the middle part of the game, but you want to force a different path all the time, because you don't want to just give this straight the same nose hit.
That's right. No, move the rock around.
Sieht mega frostig aus da außen.
Ja, ich glaube, mein 5 ist dann ganz
Ja,
gut.
ich glaube auch. Mal ein bisschen drauflaufen lassen.
Ja.
We've seen a lot of playing this inside-out turn that will curl a lot from the inside of the rings to the out. Definitely both teams seem to have a little bit of a preference playing it that way.
Everybody has a different idea of that. It does, as long as you know what the ice is doing, it doesn't really matter which turn. Whatever you're comfortable with.
Great sweep again from Annalena.
Yeah.
Just a lot of work for her and gets the nose hit.
Ja, ich würde 10 spielen.
Warte.
Oh. Gut. Ja, Esther, ein bisschen, Esther.
Thais.
Gut.
Well, the hit. Try and get it to a different spot. See what happens.
Gut.
Now in the back part of the ring, so not a long roll for her last to blank the end for Alina Petz.
Also ist aus der Hand raus eigentlich gesagt 10 und da ist 10 angekommen.
Just make sure you stay here and force the good blank, the good peel. Don't roll out yourself.
Ziehen ist gut. Ja, 10. Eben mal 9. Ja.
So a 5-2 game. You see those 2 big scores by Switzerland. Just that 1 stone in play here in end number 5.
10. Sauber.
Go.
Well, unable to stick around, so and Alina doesn't even have to throw this one to play a hit. She can just throw it through.
Didn't take long.
No.
That one takes all the pressure off, you know, and now into the break, well in control.
Yeah, Switzerland with the hammer, a 3-point lead, 5-2 as we are halfway through our feature game in session 23.
Also, du kannst im Fall auch jetzt raus, wenn du willst, gell?
Also ich bin nicht irgendwie kaputt oder so.
Nein, aber einfach, also wenn du das Gefühl hast.
Ja gut, mir rollt es halt schon da drüber, das ist ein bisschen...
Well, our feature game, first end, and we look in the first end, it was deep in the rings, and a chance here for Germany to make a double.
Yeah, trying to play the double at the back of the house, and if this is made, the most you're going to give up is 2, but ends up over curling, and, well, big trouble ahead as soon as that.
Turn off the pin.
And in the end, you can see 2 reds before the last rock. So this is a draw to full 12-foot for an opening end 3. And to just the whole end, Team Switzerland pouring the pressure on, and no mistake, 3-0 to start this one.
Yeah, great way for them to start. And then in the third, back with the hammer again. A lot simpler, but now, same thing. Just hit the house and you get 2.
Yeah, the house was split early in this one, and actually Daniela trying a very difficult hit and roll on her last. Rolled too far, so it ends up being a draw for 2, no mistake. And 5-1 at that point for Team Switzerland.
And in the fourth end, just a perfect end by Switzerland, and this is the position left for Daniela Jentsch.
Well, Daniela Jentsch makes a perfect come around actually on her first back button, hoping Alina might try to freeze. No, and Alina makes the perfect angle raise and actually sticks right on the side of the button. No choice but to draw the pinhole. Look at that. What a fantastic shot. Making it 5-2 after 4 and to the break.
And the other scores here in session 23. Korea leading Czech Republic 4-1. Korea comes in at 6-6, one of those teams. Switzerland leading 5-2 in our feature game. Sweden up 6-2 over Italy after being down 2-0 early. And Estonia leading Japan 3-1 in that game on sheet D.
Einfach dranbleiben, weiter so schön
Ach,
spielen.
aufpassen, plötzlich kommt sie noch.
Ja, bis jetzt. Also jetzt ist mein letztes Mal, als sie Chance gehabt. Sie sagt,
Das sieht immer
eher
probiert.
gegen anders aus. Das
Ja, ja. So, guys,
Hey, gut das.
another second half.
See you.
Sure, you know.
See you then.
Keep it up. Keep it up. You stay in good form. Eh?
Das Quetsch in die Hand, komm, das schieße ich jetzt in die Decke.
So kreislig.
Ja?
So ein kreisliges Zeug.
Okay.
Auf geht's.
Well, a 5-2 score in our feature game. The stats sort of tell the way it's all gone. Overall percentage, 86-79 for Switzerland. 85-79 in draws, and again, 86-79 in hits. No stolen points, but 2 multiple scores by Switzerland. 5-2 at the break, the second half upcoming. And our live coverage of the LGT World Women's Curling Championship 2021 continues here. Luke Coley along with Olympic and world champion Kevin Martin. It's great to be back in the building and great to watch a display of these curlers out on the ice. And Switzerland have been playing real well and looking in good form heading into the playoffs.
Yeah, solid lead to skip, and just wanting to make sure they have their game going at the top into the playoffs. And it looks to me that they are. There's just, there's just been solid.
There haven't been a lot of cracks in their armor so far. They're real well thought out in the decision making, and then execution, obviously, real important. Both sides are, but if you're going to call it, the execution needs to be great.
Rock placement. It's a nice shot in front of the tee line.
And you'll get a look at numbers comparison from their tournament numbers to the game numbers. And Alina Jensch, 79% on the tournament, 78 for the game. So down, being outplayed at her position, and then that makes everything, it all sort of snowballs.
Yeah, kind of the percentage difference where you think, ooh, you know what, that's quite a lot. That's 5%. So if you're being outplayed by your opponent by 5% or more, that's quite a lot, because then you're missing by more than a shot, even 2 halves, sometimes even 3 half shots, which is a lot in a curling game.
And those big scores came on some half shots, and we'll see here in the 6th end how Switzerland plays it. They don't have to be as aggressive as they were early.
Throwing good board weight here, trying to hit about a half of the rock. Needs to curl though. This is staying a little bit straight. Well, trying to hit a half rock. That's pretty much exactly what was hit. Stays in the house. Really nice shot. It's a hard shot to get by your own in the back butt, and made look easy, but it wasn't easy.
Yeah, and Germany made theirs to force a difficult shot, but bettered by Switzerland.
So try to put a good freeze here. Try to lock Yellowstone right on the red one, back button. Looks like it might be sliding a little bit. Doesn't really want to bounce off.
Just that little extra weight. Doesn't curl, chips off.
Because it's not shot rock and it's not anywhere really close to the 4-foot, peel the center, because it's not a very good steal situation. So for Silvana, I know she'd love to go around and put pressure on, but the scoreboard doesn't tell you to do that, and it's all about winning. So peel the guard, and that's certainly the right call.
Yeah, they don't put the score in the win column. It's a 1 or a 0.
Right, and that's the right call. Open up the front. 4 foot's open. The button area is open.
Germany, not really the setup, but they have to put that guard back out.
Put the guard, and it'll likely get peeled. And then somewhere down the line, you need to play the freeze to the one on the back button, because there's a point when you throw one more center, Silvana will come around it, and that's probably maybe Silvana's last, Alina's first. And that's the great part about curling. You don't know, it's like a chess game. When is the other team going to come around? I can throw centers. They actually came into the top house. A little surprised, it's pretty early for that.
86.
Now Esther will be asked to play the same shot as Melanie played. Oh, they're looking at maybe a double here.
But they're looking to try and hold the shooter and just put that extra bit of pressure.
Absolutely. And it doesn't matter which way you hit and roll here. In a perfect world, Esther could make the double.
It hasn't been the percentages in the game for Esther Neuenschwander, but has made some that in those first and third ends that really counted.
They set some half shots that cost you in the percentage. This rock's really moving.
trying to hold it on that side of center. And kill their own and the one yellow.
Won't be happy with that. Just not over curling a bit with one of Esther's rocks. So maybe she's got one that curls a little bit more. Not sure. But now, shot stone and a chance to come around to the 4-foot circle.
See, Jehone is 75% on the tournament, 77 on the game. Again, two players, Mia and Annalena, throwing 3 stones every end.
I'm trying to get by here. This is really curling though.
Well, unable to get around. These curlers in great shape, but with that, we've talked about the one sweeper for Germany. It's got to be a grind even throwing 3 stones every end throughout a 13-game round robin.
Yeah, fatigue has to. I understand the fitness level is incredible with these athletes, but still, it has to be taxing on the body after a while. Chance for a nose hit here now. So Savannah to sit 2 points.
Look at that game from Silvana at 95%.
And hasn't had, because she hasn't had a lot of tough shots, but the 2 or 3 that she has had have been made perfect.
So little roll in and Molai 1-2. Again, everything in the house, and that's playing into Switzerland's hands.
An in-turn freeze being attempted here. A good chance. This is a keen spot in the ice. Plenty of weight, trying to make sure they get by the front.
Well, round little tap back to Lai's shot. Well, they discuss, we'll look in Japan and Estonia. It is Japan lying 1.
Maybe 2. One or 2. 1 for sure. This is definitely a draw. Out-turn draw to the full 4-foot for at least 2. It's really hard to tell the 2 rocks biting the 4-foot. Of course, you can never measure rocks until the end of the end. So nobody really knows ones that are really close what they'll be until they measure them.
They want this one in the 4-foot, then they guarantee at least 2. Chance at 3.
And then measure for 3. That's right. Looks really good. Line's excellent.
Well, right down to their own, and it's there. They look.
It looks like the yellow's the bigger biter, actually, now that you have a good look at it. So 2 it is. Tie game. 3-3. Good game going on. Sheet Delta.
Yeah, Japan and Estonia battling over there. It's fun to watch those teams play. Playing the run back on that. I think those yellows move around a different way.
Oh, great shot. Made well, pretty much made the double. Moved the yellow far enough that Redstone's trying to not double jam. Such a difficult line call. Well done by Silvana Terranzoni on that one.
Yeah, it worked out really well the way they opened up everything in the 4-foot.
And even had the jam on the side if the red would have rolled out. Still happy. Opened the whole house up, sitting a couple, but got a little bit of good fortune, jamming straight on to sit 3.
Yeah, lots of reason to smile if you're Switzerland.
Well, Savannah cruising along at 95 and just made that one. So that's not going to hurt your percentage either.
Yeah.
So now a hit and roll.
Wenn der Freeze halt nicht perfekt kommt. vorne, dann sind halt auch viele.
Now this is the in-turn spot in the ice that over-curled in the second end. So let's see what happens here. It moved a lot, this in-turn of Danielle's in the second. Over-curled.
Danielle, a good game, 83%. 9% above her tournament numbers.
Ja, ja. Halt! Fest! Halte sie! Fest!
Holding it pretty good.
And make that double.
Really good shot.
Schön. Und der war für gar nichts, außer dass du halt nicht aufs Maul kriegen.
Very nicely done.
Okay.
Had to try and eliminate some, and she wasn't able to eliminate a lot in the first end, led to the 3, and there, double made.
Well, and Alina Petz has got to be careful here. If the rocks aren't straight across the house from each other, if, say, this one ends up on the tee line, there'll be another double. And then Alina will be drawing against 3.
But 97%, I think maybe even the one that she didn't make was in the first end, where she rolled too far and left a double.
Well, Alina's decided to play the hit on the second shot stone, so won't have to draw against 3 no matter what, which makes sense with the scoreboard what it is. It's the right call.
Right on the nose.
Tip top, yes?
Gut, Betsy, schön. Genau,
Ja,
So
auch so.
viel?
Ja, 10-5, oder? Wir dürfen
Okay.
ja nicht zu schnell.
Ja, ja.
10-5 ist gut.
10-5? Ja,
So down 5-2. Obviously real tough to try and get a force in this scenario. You playing the thin double?
I would think the hit and roll in front of the back 8, because it's so steep, the double is so steep, you just would have to hit an inch or so of the one of the red on the side. 8 foot, 12 foot. You're kind of toying with flashing it completely. See how fast Daniela comes out. Definitely playing the hit and roll with the speed.
10-5?
Sauber, ja. Hopp. Cut. Cut.
Trying to get it to curl now.
Try and catch enough to make that hit and roll, and it's going to go too far across the face,
Okay.
and a draw for 2.
Okay. Länge war gut.
Ja.
Nicht so.
Einfach gegangen, einfach aussaugen, ist gut.
Deciding where to put the broom for this draw. And
Nein.
Findest du gut so?
the ice has been excellent though. Right across the sheet. Could take either turn anywhere. Same speed.
We missed 5 days of our coverage here, and it hasn't missed a beat. Like it looks the exact same.
Exact same, yeah. Terrific ice making. Wonderful for the curlers.
So Lena Petz now a chance to draw for 2, make it a 7-2 game.
Gut, losgelassen.
Ja,
Kann
nimm's.
man innen ein bisschen schnaufen, glaube ich. Bis auf.
Ist gut.
Hinten 4.
Sweepers cleaning this one. This is the keen side of the sheet. Moving. Looks very nice.
Yeah, no problem just cleaning that one in. Good for us. Another multiple score by Switzerland. Their 3rd of the game. They lead 7-2 over Germany through 6 ends of play.
Gut. Gut, also 3 Steine bringen. Ja. Okay, also der Plan. Ich bringe jetzt alle 3 Steine. Danach bringst du alle 3 Steine. Und danach?
So we come back and we see the alternate, Kara Hovald, the 28-year-old alternate for Switzerland, stepping in for Melanie Barbazet. She was a member of 3 World Championship teams as alternates, hoping to make it a 4th, but just she's been an alternate on a bunch of the Swiss reign in women's curling right now. They've won 5 World Championships in the last 8 years. It's incredible.
That is really incredible. Terrific program, and it's not all the same team.
Yeah.
Many different teams.
You know, Dinya Felcher, you have Miriam Ott, you got Silvana Tiranzoni, Alina Petz was one year when she was
different
skipping
teams.
different
Right,
teams.
on different teams, yeah.
Schaut nicht so schlecht aus.
Lots of good choices.
Schauen.
And you saw one of the Grand Slams as well. Another Swiss team in Team Stern that was supposed to go to the Worlds last year in Prince George, but didn't get to and then lost this year, so they don't miss out on going to a World Championship.
With Briar Hurleman. Hurleman, of course, a great curling name, throwing last stones. Watch out, another great team coming up.
Just keep developing and developing.
Yeah, they just pretty much, you have to kind of wait your turn. You have to learn enough to be able to beat, well, these great Swiss teams. So, but they'll be the next one.
So Germany will try and go with the corner guard. The first stone went deep in the rings by Switzerland. And we'll give Kara a little bit of a break. She just steps in, she goes back 12 foot.
Well, it's exciting. So your heart's going a little bit fast, and you think you're throwing a certain speed, but your heart's just going, and you throw it a little harder than you think. So that's just fine. Wanting to get the 2 corner guards up here now for Team Germany. Straight across from each other so they don't set up a double peel later in the end. Something that Esther can certainly throw the rock hard enough to make, but that's excellent. Straight across, right on the LGT logos. Wanting this rock likely in the top house, top 12, even top 8, something like that would be good. A perfect world if you can line them up. Like that.
Just like so. First 3 in. So a
little hit and roll behind the corner guard. Get rid of 1 red. And trying to get the little roll here. Rock's finishing hard though. Curled a little bit too much.
We'll slide over just on that side over on sheet A, Korea and Czech Republic. And Korea looks like just that one. Anna Koveshkova.
Yeah, it looks to be one open hit, a lefty in turn. Left-handed.
Yeah, just 1 of 2 lefties in the field. And there is another one in behind. They're making the hit and roll for 1. So a single point there for the Czech Republic. Korea in good position after 6 ends. A 2-point lead and the hammer. So those 6 and 6 teams, including Germany, not looking all that positive for Germany in this one. But Korea's looking, they're 6 and 6. They know Canada and the US are done round robin play at 7 and 6. Denmark 7-5. And then you also have Scotland at 6 losses. That's a logjam.
Lots more to happen this evening.
You could come into this session tied for what would be 5th place, and you could finish 9th or 10th.
If Denmark were to lose, actually, the last one would be 7 and 6. Yes, you could be tied for 4th. and end up in 9th.
It just shows the parity across as the way this one's playing out.
Länge war schon 10, oder?
As Germany rolls out another one. Tough to really make these comebacks
Länge war nicht
when the
schlecht.
half shots, the rollouts.
Sie macht dort doppelt mit Roll nachher. Also weißt, die Frage ist es für uns okay, wenn sie verlieren? Wir einen Guard wegnehmen. Okay? Und nachher
Discussing the options of should we peel the guard, one of the corners. But right now, with only 4 stones remaining for Team Germany, it doesn't really make sense to peel one of the corners. The math of coming around, peel the guard, come around, there's not enough rocks. So this is the right call, just simply on the math.
schön fein.
For Germany, say that you come around one of the corners, then you peel it. Okay, so Germany comes around the other corner, but you hit the open one, it's too late.
Yeah.
There's not enough rocks. So throw it to the middle,
Ja, 75.
force the issue.
Messi hängen 4.
Okay.
Hinten 4, lieber ankommen. Ja.
In dem Fall, wir lassen ihn ein bisschen ankommen, wenn es geht. Gehen. So. Achtung, es kommt
This is plenty of weight on this stone though. And it just
Ja.
split it
Länge wäre gut, sie haben
and not overlap, so now that can be quite an easy run back with either of them.
Yeah, either way.
Fast across the face, oder?
It's a good result, good shot.
10-5.
So hit and roll behind the corner.
Well, you put up the corner guards, you want to use them.
They've had chances. Team Germany have just need to make a roll and just hasn't been able to. And to your point, just too many half shots. Like,
Yeah. Even 3/4. Like you're not quite getting that positioning where you're seeing from Switzerland.
trying to get the roll. But again, on the nose, so those are half shots because you're not putting pressure on the Team Switzerland.
Even with making the double now, there's still chance to remove it, and there's only you have those 2 stones in the front, and you got 3 stones left. You got to make those 3 perfect.
Still, there's a chance for 2 points though. If you can get a roll behind,
So, ich denke nicht mit dem von Zähneholz. Ja.
there's still a chance for 2. Just need to make one soon.
And a 7-2 score, 4 ends remaining. Don't really have the luxury to, okay, we don't get it, we'll set it up in the next end. Well, makes the hit, just changes the look of it in the house. Switzerland's still lying 2.
And same type of thing, try to get the roll behind. Oh, really either of the corners, but Danielle's playing a cross house behind the corner.
Yeah, the way they rejig those angles, it's a real tough to make the one roll, and the other one wouldn't be shot stone.
Right, right. Yep. This is a really good throw. This is close. Try to roll right behind.
Get as much as possible, just into the 8-foot.
Warte.
10-3.
Okay. 10-3.
So trying to roll all the way behind the corner guard, not behind the red, because of course the raise is only a few inches.
Yeah.
Fairly simple shot. Alina trying to hit the red onto the yellow, rolling a little and having the other rock kind of roll with it into the 8-foot circle. It's the call. Tolerance here, of course, is to be a little bit outside making the raise. Doesn't even matter if you roll out.
Get rid of the yellow.
Get rid of the yellow.
Oh, there's the raise. You said, don't worry about rolling out. Get rid of the yellow.
Yeah, that's smart. Just smart. Yes, if it would have curled enough, that would have been lovely to stay 2, but there's no need. The scoreboard says just get those yellows out.
Put that one in the top of the 12-foot. We got 2 left.
You could actually not have, you know, the hit and roll. Hit and roll is the toughest, in my opinion, the toughest shot in curling. More difficult than a perfect freeze because it brings the whole team in. You've got to, first of all, the thrower has to say how they threw it. Then the sweepers have to tell the broom holder the exact weight. And the broom holder has to take those 2 messages and say, okay, I think I threw it a little wide. Weight's good. Okay, now, and all that communication all the way down the sheet to make the perfect roll.
And interpret that all in a few seconds and then make that call.
Absolutely. So difficult to make the perfect roll.
The switch of where...
Going the other way now, but...
Right in between.
Right in between. Hits and rolls are so difficult in the sport of curling, whereas the freeze is the second most difficult. But you don't have to worry about the weight on a freeze. Like if you're heavy or light, it just is.
Yeah.
The idea is the sweepers just to worry about the speed of the stone.
Well, a 5-point lead. Should try to finish this one off, make the hit here. Love to make a little roll, make sure you're in the rings. And we'll see the roll and then look over, see Korea, Czech Republic. And Korea with the hammer in this one, leading 4-2.
Yeah, and Team Czech Republic lying 1. Eunjun Kim here, though, playing the pick. So just trying not to knock out the back red one.
Perfect.
Tough shot, hit that very thin. Still made contact, but good to hold. 2 points. 6-2 now after 7. A huge game for Team Korea.
Yeah, important for them, trying to finish at 7-6. Add them to the bunch of teams that are finished at 7-6, including Canada and the US. And after that roll was made by Alina Petz, made it behind the corner. That's what Germany was trying, and this time Switzerland makes it, forces the draw for 1.
This needs to get off the corner guard. Yeah, look.
Oh, and they'll get a little touch, redirect.
No problem, right on the button.
Look at that. No one draws that picture up in the scorebook. It goes down as 1 for Germany, 7-3. Switzerland will get the hammer back. In good control to try and take first place. Welcome back to the Winsport Arena, part of Canada Olympic Park, the LGT World Women's Curling Championship 2021. And all European affairs, Switzerland and Germany. Switzerland 10-1 coming in, Germany 6-6. And Germany down 7-3 now at this point. No choice, got to go all out at this stage of the game.
Yeah, throw the double centers. It's scary, but with the scoreboard the way it is, double centers and have a race to the button, try to steal 1 or maybe even 2 this end. knowing that it's a dangerous way to, to play the game, but you have to with the scoreboard where it is.
And the way the scoreboard is, not good for them in getting to the playoffs. They need to win. Coming in at 6-6.
Moment sind wir noch aussen, Team. Bleib einfach gut. Ja, sind wir.
Switzerland alternate into the game in the 6th end. Pardon me, in the 7th end. Came in last end, and they're right to the top of the forefoot.
78.
In the 3rd game that Carol's got in. She got in their first 2 games.
Well, it's really important because you never know, especially with the sweepers working so hard, injuries. So to get your alternate in as much as possible is really advantageous if you're able to do it. Because you just never know.
Trying to get that second center line guard.
16-1. Schön.
And if you haven't been around a World Championship, the alternates, they do get on the ice. They do practice a lot of the time. They'll be the ones matching stones, throwing them the night before, getting a feel for what the team's going to have the next day.
Absolutely. Lots of work to be done between rock matching and also just watching all the various teams and the order they're throwing the stones in.
And just touches that top one. And not moving it very far. Slides through.
Ich weiß nicht, ob der etwas verwünscht hat. Der ist so gerade am Anfang.
Ja, gemeint, du willst da hinten.
Ja, zuerst schon.
Trying to make the tick.
Ja.
Does, but only ticked it
Ja.
an inch or two. So would have liked to hit it thicker.
Ein Nöpfchen gefällt, um ein bisschen noch.
Ja.
Well, a lot of smiles there for Carol.
Ja.
First one still in a real good position.
Viel gezogen, gell?
Wer klein?
Achtung. Sauber.
Ja. Oh. Wer klein? Ja.
Trying to move the Swiss stone back behind the tee line.
Hard.
A perfect shot is just behind the button.
As that comes in, we'll see what Japan's got going on over on sheet D against Estonia.
Well, this is a difficult in-turn hit through a backward staggered hole, but 2 points is available. Yoshimura trying to get through this hole, making it curl as much as possible, gets through. Ah, good shot. That was a tough shot. Well done. 2 points. 5-4 now.
So Japan gets the lead in that one going against Estonia. And Estonia, just 1 win on the week. We talked about it earlier, the success they've had winning that one. But they've been in a lot of games too. You see, they're not being blown away.
No, the trick is in the last few ends. The strategy, knowing where to put the rocks, and that's just experience. And you just need to come to big events, and you'll learn, and you'll figure it out. Shooting wise, I think they're right in there. It's just kind of what to do the last 3 ends is really
the strategy side.
Yeah, not the shooting side, the strategy side. And that's tough in curling. Curling's chess, and it takes a long time to be a chess master.
The more you play, the better you're going to be. And Marie Turman has played at a couple world mixed doubles as well, so obviously it's a different experience, but you're still at the world stage.
And somewhat similar, actually. You know, a little, it's still all about the last couple of ends. Even in mixed doubles, you can see the strategy of where the angles in which you freeze mean everything late in the game.
We see this a lot, the peels of the guards that go out in front. Esther Neuenschwander, no surprise there. Getting rid of the front. And Germany hasn't been that bad. They're playing 82% as a team, but you look at Tiranzoni at 95%. You have Pets at 96. Tough to win those games unless you play above that.
Right, or near it.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah. Yeah, you're shooting 82. That's a really good game, but the problem is the other guys are shooting in the 90s. That's more than 5% difference. That causes trouble. center guard here. Very nice.
Schön gut.
A simple decision based on the scoreboard, a 4-point lead. And the hammer for Switzerland.
Ja, gut.
There will be a chance, though. That yellow rock is well positioned for a bump freeze. And there's a good chance for a steal here if the last one is made, depending on when the bump is attempted, if Danielle is first or second. It's hard to wait for your second shot, but that's the right opportunity to try to make the steal.
And the peel there, you wouldn't see Switzerland probably with the score. They're going to peel the guard. They're not going to make that move in first.
I would, well, Alina, she loves to gamble, but I would say no. Probably not.
Well, look at those numbers, 95 to 77%. The third spot.
And it's about 5% per miss. So you're talking, 4 complete misses or some misses and maybe 6 half shots. That's a lot. We're only in the 8th end, right? So that's a lot. Nice guard here, though.
Bisschen anders gespielt als die davor.
Was?
War ein bisschen anders gespielt als die davor.
Okay, war gleiche Länge. Also 0.
Nein, ist gleich.
Ja.
So again, another peel here for Tirinzoni.
Keep your team's shots simple.
Schön.
So throwing one more center, that's excellent.
Then
I
most teams, you probably see the peel.
And
I'm probably
thinking,
do here.
I think so here as well. Alina will walk up and peel it. But then that bump, that yellow straight back onto the corner of the red. That really solidifies a really good steal chance. Because if Alina goes after the double too hard, it might double jam. And now it's a steal of 2. So a good guard here. And set up for a perfect last one.
Well, they're coming tighter in. Does that change things now as it comes top 12 foot?
Yeah, now the double is available.
Okay.
And move the shooter away from being in front of the red one on the side of the button. But that's those half misses. That's just a little. Move that rock up 2-3 feet short of the house. It'll just be a peel plate.
And there's part of the reason where we see those numbers. Lena Petz, 97%, 83% for Daniela Jentsch.
83 is a good number, though.
Yes.
That's a really solid game, but 97 is just
fabulous.
Yeah, yeah, tremendous. Yeah. So you'd expect this double to be close with those numbers.
And made. And hold the shooter.
Hold the shooter, but get it out of the way. Just, well, not perfect. If you're shooting 97, you'd expect perfect, I guess.
It would have been surprising if she didn't make that, the way this game has gone for Alina Petz. Now, have to play just a straight freeze.
Freeze, try to bump the rock back a few inches, stay right on the nose of it. You don't want to make the corner freeze for shot, or Alina will just nose hit, get 2 points.
So an important one for Daniela Jentsch, trailing by 4.
Länge ist gut. Hinten 4. Easy. Humphreys, Platz ist gut. Muss ein bisschen Das ist gut. Hinten 4. Achtung. Hinten 4. Achtung. Hinten 4.
Looks pretty good. Just needs to finish. Get to the nose. Get to the nose.
Nose and tap it just a little bit.
It is shot stone, but because it's a bit of an angle, Alina will be able to throw really, really hard weight and not worry if you hit a half, knock the back red out and roll your shooter out and only get one. One's okay. Good shot though by Danielle again. Great curling.
Sehr gut, da hast du. Ich glaube, sie ist okay.
Ich finde, es sieht super aus. Viel Licht draussen. Ja.
So the last of the 8th. Make that yellow one go away.
Gut, gleich lang.
Get it out of there.
Fest. Go. Noch nicht.
And we'll pick it, as you said, Kevin rolls everything out. They don't worry about that. And it is a single point. And I think the concession there. Looks like it was a reaction there for Switzerland as they celebrate a win and first spot out of round robin. They will have the top seed heading into the playoffs with the 8-3 win over Germany.
Ja, die Gaben darf nie ins Haus. Das war einfach.
Ist das jetzt noch meine?
Das weiß ich nicht.
Schön war's.
Well, we'll jump over and we'll slide over and see Korea against Czech Republic over on sheet A now that our feature game Switzerland and Germany has wrapped up. Germany has lost out. They dropped to 6 and 7, while Switzerland earns first spot overall with that win. And this one, Korea needs a win to have a chance in the playoff picture. It is a 6-4 game, the 9th end. It is Korea with the hammer, trading twos back and forth in the 7th and 8th ends. Korea got a win last night against Sweden, in a not necessarily a revenge game, but one where they get exact a bit of revenge after losing the Olympic gold medal final to them in 2018. Kim Sun-young trying to play this tick shot, can't remove it. Chips it over, rolls off the center a little bit.
Jedna.
Ja.
Well, the second for Czech Republic, Mikhaila Badishova.
My jsme tak 2, 1, 2, 3.
They're trying to get this set up. They got to try and go for a steal here in the late stages of this game.
Jsme guard.
Já jsem na něm, bohužel, takže...
Well, needed the guard. They get that one out in front. Things can start to be peeled now as this is rock number 6 of the end.
약간 여기까지 살짝 두꺼운 느낌. 아니면 얇게도 괜찮아. 아, 너무 얇으면 좀 별로다. 됐어. 기다려. 천천히 와.
Well, get both of them and roll it in. Look at this one, the double and roll in. Will get shot, the great double peel. That was the most important part, rolling in to get shot stone, even more so. Kim Cho-hee. Czech Republic forced to go back out in front.
Ja. Jsme tam. Jsme dobrý. 1 plus. Dobře to tady to.
Well, no surprise. We're going to see Korea go and just trying to keep that 4-foot open, trying to clear it out, access to the 4-foot with the hammer in this 9th end. And the peel of that front one can officially confirm that with Germany losing to Switzerland, Canada has clinched a playoff spot. So Canada clinches a spot and is into the Olympic Winter Games next year. That leaves 1 spot alive.
Hodně místa. Míša.
Můžete.
Míša.
Tak pojď, Míša. Směr je dobrý. Směr je skvělej.
Korea trying to join to give themselves a chance to get into the playoffs, need to win this one. While the Czech Republic come top of the 8-foot, gets in just for shot stone. Their guard, they're going to peel it. Might have thought about running it, but trying to keep that area open. Kim Kyung-ae. See the numbers on the tournament, 78%. Korea as a team in this game, curling 86%, trying to get both of them here. We'll end up clipping that one on the side. Losing their own, but right now, they just want to keep that center line, that control zone out in front, wide open. Elzbieta Badishova. The sisters here, the middle of this Czech Republic lineup. Team out of Prague, Czech Republic. So guard goes out. They want to protect that one in the top of the 12-foot.
den.
While trying to peel it off the side one and stick it. A little unlucky. Hit that one perfectly to leave that one on the side of the 12-foot. So Skip Stone's 9th end. Anna Kubeshkva, 70%. Well, continue to guard up that one side.
야가 히트 롤을 해야 되잖아. 네. 그러면 라인이 히트 롤 안 되면은 내가 그냥 때리면 되고, 만약에 해서 2까지 넘어가 버리면 내가 또 똑같이 드로우를 한번 더 하면 돼. 스토리 너무 많아서. 아, 그 라인 그거는 아까 많이 뻗어서 근데 할 수 있는. 근데 여기가 좀 아이스가 별로 안 좋아서 오다가 가드 돼 버리면은 완전 별로.
방금 얘가 던졌던 라인으로 나는 여기 여기다가 하고 팽이나 뒤로 가잖아. 하잖아. 드로우에서 1점 가면 돼.
똑같이?
일단 이거 보고.
위로.
아니다 싶으면 너희가 여기까지 내려.
15초 9인데 얘는. 일단 가드는.
근데 이 안쪽은 좀 잘 나가는 것 같아. 이 바깥 타면은 더 꺾고.
여기 라인 잡으면 될 것 같잖아.
아까 선미 이거 크게
너
돌았을 때.
크게 돌았을 때 여기야. 그게 센터 라인.
여기 잡으면 조금 더 조금.
Well, discussion whether you come in or you peel the guard. I think you come in now, you give yourself a chance at 2. They're not even necessarily trying to get this one buried, but just in behind the tucks maybe a little bit. Because you know the Czech Republic's going to draw behind their yellow top of the 8-foot on their next stone. Knowing you're probably going to have to throw a draw on your last, you can throw it now on your first and get a good feel for it.
이쪽이랑 비슷해?
Kim Moon-jung, 71% in the tournament. Not the same numbers that we've seen from her at previous events, but it has been a while since we've seen this Korean team after their great Olympic run as the host country in 2018. Less than a year away from the next Olympic Winter Games already. And look at this one go. They're trying to make sure they get by that one and sit in front of the tee line. That was important.
얼마인데? 16?
So we'll look in Japan and Estonia. Estonia lying 1 and going out wide. Marie Turman has to get 4-foot, maybe a piece of the button to get her second point.
Looks pretty good. Boy, the line is excellent.
That's a great curling shot.
Wonderful shot. Big 2 points. Well done.
In the 8th end to score 2. And there, all smiles. Big smile from the Estonian skip.
sekin.
Nää 23
Se on liike se lähdekohta.
You know, here as we look in Korea and Czech Republic. Kveshkova trying to come down to that shot stone, get by, and will actually play a little tap and get shot stone.
Terrific result. Shot rock well underneath the guard. Nothing for Team Korea other than a wide for Eun Jun Kim, a wide earn turn draw to the button. No choice.
I think part of the reason she played the draw on her first as opposed to maybe peel the front is to get a feel for having to draw it.
That's not easy though.
No,
it's
not easy.
Not much real estate to draw to here.
A 6-4 game. Sweeper staying close. They want to try and get this one to dig in, catch the button. Will it stop? It looks as though it will catch back of the button. Good enough for the single point, and with the hammer in the 9th end, take a 7-4 lead. Heading to the 10th end of that one. Korea coming in at 6-6.
많이 세다 근데 13초 48.
Bačugi 조금 더 덜러. Já se budu poradit s Karlem, jestli neskusíme centr.
Well, the 10th end now here. Korea, Czech Republic 7-4 is the score as we bring our attention here over to Sheet A, the LGT World Women's Curling Championship 2021. Luke Coley alongside Kevin Martin. And we saw Switzerland. We know they qualified the first seed. With that win by Switzerland, that meant Canada qualifies in. And after seeing some of the scenarios, it looks as though if Korea wins on to this one, the United States will qualify, and Korea would miss out in one of those tiebreaker spots.
Right. And I'm sure everybody knows all the scenarios. The athletes know what's going on going into this game.
And always tough as a team. You look at it, you look at Scotland, USA, Canada, they're not even out on the ice, and it's out of their hands now. And that's where you want to win your games, where Switzerland, they had full control. They win, they know where they're going. Obviously, when you're playing that well, things work out. So check.
Needs to get going here. Get over the hog line.
And won't. Trying to get those guards in play, needing to score 3 in this 10th end to tie.
Three up. Coming home. Now you can just peel your own out. and make all the peels for the rest of the game, and it's over. So this is kind of with that miss.
Yeah, the cleaner the better, but Kim Sun-young guessing we'll bring this one into the rings. You don't want to put any guards up for your opponent.
Okay, that's fine. Would have been a little cleaner if you just peel that out, though. And then the corner guard, if you just, as long as you make the simple peels, you can run the other team out of rocks.
Again, Coach Chavayas. Let's go.
So needing the guard this time, hoping for a bit of a miss by Team Korea now.
Yeah, missing that guard is really tough at this stage of a game. At any point, try and generate your offense.
Especially 3 down. That's right. Well done, though. Made that one just right.
이거까지도 괜찮긴 해. 일단 위로 와야 돼. 살짝 탭이 더 좋을 것 같긴 하다. 탭으로 갈까? 7, 8.
Well, watching this Korean team at the Olympics and in South Korea, not always exactly as you put it to the book, the way a lot of people would call it, playing it to the book. They execute a lot of great shots, but it's not always what you expect.
Right. Played fantastic in that Olympics, though. So impressive. Just the shooting ability was unbelievable. So much fun to watch.
They were, and the amount of pressure that team was under into those games as the host country. You know that feeling.
They put on a show. They did. A chance to come into the middle here and bump things around a little bit, build a wall. Probably trying to throw something like hack kind of weight, a little less maybe, just through the house. Trying to get close to the nose here. Well, that needs to stick around. Needs to stick around.
Tries, but it stays out.
So now the peel is allowed. That was a big rollout there. Now there won't be any guards here in a second.
Kim Cho-hee, 83%.
Has to put that back a little bit on release.
Oh, and misses it and will kill one of her own.
And moved one behind the button area to freeze two as well. So just a second.
A little bit of life there now. It's those two. There is the guard. Czech Republic needs to execute some shots here as we're into third stones now. Or pardon me, last of seconds here from Mikhaila Badishova.
Trying to freeze to the rock, back button. So then you have a corner guard and one frozen. Not a bad situation to try to get 3 points.
Yeah, the peel was made. It's not looking very good at all. Now you make this one.
And none of the rocks were behind the tee line. So okay. Now the peel, well, we'll see. Should be made. But then the freeze is still available.
정확히 잘 모르겠어. 저도 약간 완전 반대로 가는 건 아닌 것 같지 근데. 그냥 방향대로는 오긴 와. 네.
This looks better.
Yeah, peel of that top one. So everything in the rings and that one just on the outside.
To je dobrý, no, ona bude hrát, jakoby, ona vyndá tyhle dva. Ale...
Really only two choices. You could throw the guard again. There's still 4 rocks to come. So you could throw the guard again. And then understanding the peel would likely be made. Then you play the freeze. Then make the double up front. You freeze again. That's how you get your 3. Or you can play the freeze now. Understanding they're going to blast the front. Then you throw a guard. Then you play the freeze. So it's the same scenario, just in a different order. Neither being incorrect. Both good.
Tak smáš na něm? Tak Míša, ale.
On this one, freeze the, not quite frozen, but just in front. And can you get them both flying?
No, I don't think so. But you can definitely get the top one out. And then the other one will spring a little bit, but I don't know if you can get them both out of the rings. That would be extremely difficult. Don't need to get rid of both. Definitely need to get rid of one.
3-point lead for Korea. It is Czech Republic with the hammer in this 10th end.
Looks like a really good throw.
Oh,
Look at that.
Look at it goes a lot easier as it spins it right out.
Perfect shot through a lot of weight. Very well done. This is incredibly difficult to get the middle one spinning. But no problem.
It jumped off that one, it looked like.
It really did. Oh, the benefit of being able to throw the rock really, really hard and accurate.
Yeah, in this Korean team, you wouldn't look at them to think they can throw the big weight, but they're very strong with their legs and
technically do a lot of work technically, and of course their coach Peter Gallant is very solid technically with this instruction, so no surprise.
Yeah, I've worked a long time with them to get them to this level, and Czech Republic trying to make something go, but this one gonna be into the 12-foot on the side. Not fully open, but accessible for Korea to win the game. Because I don't think there's any way you can get that other yellow in.
No. Can't split a side one.
No.
Contact here is needed, and of course the tolerance is a little inside. Peel the red one, then you have an open hit on the next one. So 2 tries, just don't miss wide.
Wow. 97% on the game for Kim Moon-jung. Clean is a thrower's favorite word.
Well done. Good throw.
And that'll do it. The Czech Republic will take a look, but that is it. They do concede. They look. There's no way they're getting that one in. And it is a Korean victory. So they defeat Czech Republic and will finish 7-6 in round robin, which should put the United States into the playoff picture. Wait for the official qualification, obviously, on that one, but a 7-4 win for Korea over Czech Republic. Well, look in the last in this 9th end. Japan and Estonia. Japan a chance here. Sayaka Yoshimura can retake the lead. It was Estonia that came back. Get 2 in the 8th. Yoshimura just cleaning this one in is their front end. Chance to get into the 8-foot. Will actually do better than that for the 3, and a big 3 in that 9th end. So 8-6 with that for Japan over Estonia. In the 10th end of that one now. So now we jump live. Obviously, we just showed you where we're at. Now the 10th end, 8-6, Japan leading Estonia. And it's just been made official that the United States have got that cube beside them. So they were officially qualified after all the scenarios and all the math worked out that I'm glad someone else has to figure out.
Yes, it was certainly a morning of math.
Yes.
Trying to figure out all the possibilities.
The seeding still to come, but we'll get through that as we see how this one finishes up. As we see another game, Sweden finishing up 9-5 victors over Italy. So Sweden gets that win. Sweden, best they can finish now with Switzerland winning is that 3 spot. And playing the qualifying game. And as we showed you, the Koreans celebrating a 7-4 win over the Czech Republic. So Korea, even with that win, finishing 7-6, won't be into the playoffs. Part of that logjam of 6 lost teams.
It was all sort of who you lost to, who you beat, who you lost to in that scenario. And they just lost to the wrong teams.
Yeah.
Simple as that.
You could tell at the start of the week wasn't what Korea wanted. They started really slow, started to play a lot better late, getting that game action. As we see Estonia with a little mistake. And it's one of those years, obviously with COVID, the teams haven't played as much. And you're seeing that as the teams, the more they play, they get better. The ones, the top teams that are out there.
Right, a lot of the top teams were lucky to be here for 2 weeks playing in the Grand Slam events. You know, battling it out. And Team Korea actually was at the Slam events. Min-ji Kim, different team. So then Eun-jun Kim comes in and just hasn't played much. And that's such a tough situation to come into. Absolutely. But as the week went on, you can see the Olympic silver medalists, they were back in form near the end.
It wasn't that, you didn't say it wasn't a fluke in 2018 with the form they showed late.
Right, it certainly wasn't. Just, you know, just had a lot of rust early in the week. Now, Team Japan wanting to be top 8, top 4. Yeah, very nice. Good shot.
Into lie 3. It is Estonia with the hammer here in this 10th end.
And needing a little hit and roll behind the center guard. Can even over-roll this a little bit because of the jam scenario in the back.
This is the second, last of second stones for Hailey Grossman. Trying to get past the guard. Oh, and just worst case sort of tick and rolls 4th shot.
Rolled into the hole. So the options, you could hit the back yellow, but then the in-turn freeze to the one on the side of the button is there.
So Japan has called their timeout.
なんかこの辺とか、これないように見えなくていい気がするよね。いいと思うな。斜めでも悪くない。前でも。相手はこっちあるか。そうだね。それはありだね。あ、そうだね。
そこ取りたいよね。そこ取りたいよね。
ここベストだよね。
うん
これも使えるしね。
傘の裏っていい感じかな。
チップいい。
前だったらどうだ。少し前だったら悪いか。
この辺？
うん。
悪くない。
悪くないと思う。
ああ、じゃあその辺許容あるね。
うん。
うん。
入りすぎがあんま良くない？そうだね。そうだね。
どこまで入りすぎは OK だ。
6 OK だと思う。
からここ？
ベストは
半分ぐらい。
ベストそうだね半分。
トップ4ね。
ああ、そこより前でも悪くないよね。
これまでもいいと思う。
あ
オッケ
あ、OK。
こっち使えるし、こっち来ても。
そうだね。伸ばしてもよくなるか。回りすぎなんかな。
OK、よし行こう。
はい。
そうだね。
So top 8, bite, top 4, right behind the guard. That would block the in-turn freeze to the button. It would pretty much block everything, to be honest. So that's the perfect shot. Well discussed.
そうだね。ちょっとだけ。
Yeah, they use your time, the timeout here in this 10th end. You have a 2-point lead. So we see the standings. All 6 playoff teams now qualified. Canada and US qualifying after not even playing in this session, but the way the results worked out, Korea is 7-6, misses out. Scotland 6-6 knows that they can't get into that top 6 now. Switzerland knows they're the 1 seed. RCF is 2. We know those 2 are into the semifinals. And Sweden will be the 3 seed. And we'll sort everything out as all the other official results come in, which affect obviously the seeding of all the games being played. Japan, though, in this one, just haven't been consistent enough this week. They're at 4 and 7.
Same scenario, though. There was a Team Japan in the Grand Slams the last 2 weeks, but not this Team Japan. And that's unfortunate that, you know, you come in and you just haven't played a lot of high-quality games, and it takes a while to get your stride. Same as Team Korea.
Lisa Thurman trying to get at that one. Well, hit on the guard, open it up.
11-6 oli hea, aga see oli lihtsalt pehme, ma arvan, veits. Ilmselt küll, jah.
It's definitely just a guard situation now for Team Japan. Be tough to get in there for 2 points with red surrounding the button.
Yeah, and that intern draw is awful. I don't know if it's even there.
Not there anymore, no. So it's a tough situation.
Kaho Onodera, 91% on the game.
Very nice.
Just a lot of red granite to move to try and get 2 in there.
There really is. Trying to now hit this one in top and roll behind the corners, hoping to get rid of a couple of reds. Move things around. Need to hold the shooter in the rings, though. That's important. Line's a little bit tight.
Well, and again, second straight one that will wreck on the front.
So looking at, okay, if we guard the middle one, there is a wiggle off the side one. And there will be a chance probably at that point for 2. So that will be the guard.
Guard and take that one away.
Kind of guard right in the middle of the 2 front reds. Then I'm not sure what how you're going to get 2 into the button area. It's going to be very difficult.
The wide angle raise to get one in, but you don't want to play that on your first. And you got to find a way to get in there.
That's right.
And they just haven't got off to Estonia a good start in the end. They haven't really get themselves a chance with this much Japanese stones in good position. Both skips pretty even. It's 79% for Yoshimura. Termin at 82%. But it's an 8-6 Japan lead in this 10th end.
So just trying to guard the middle of the hole, not the central one like last time. Well, that is over curling a little bit. That little hit and roll to the top forefoot is available. Need to make a good one here though, just off the nose. And roll into the forefoot. Then you will definitely have a shot. Either an angle raise on the yellow or off of the red.
Have something on your last.
You'll definitely have something on your last if this is made perfect. This will not be shot stone though after this. Your shooter will be second shot at the best.
Estonia, their first World Championship appearance for their member association.
This is looking pretty good. Trying to just get to the inside a little. Needs to roll.
Little roll in. Actually spins them all out by making the nose hit. And lies one.
Yeah, a very good result. Sitting first and third. Well done.
Gave themselves an opportunity now.
Absolutely. Terrific shot.
So watch the reds go. They end up getting it right on the nose. Spins that red out.
And the big deal is the red spun far enough that it's fourth shot, not third. So Team Japan taking on the slash double, so hitting a less than half, maybe a third, and try to go yellow onto yellow, which is extremely difficult. But this would end the game if made, but
you miss it there. There might be it's a difficult shot, but there might be an opportunity to make a play on that top 8-foot stone.
Oh, there certainly will be, yes. No question. Not, but to your point, not easy. But first things first, the double will be attempted.
Well, both these teams know they're not going to be into the playoffs, but you want to finish positive. Japan trying to get win number 5 if they can have Sayaka Yoshimura make this double takeout.
Trying to hit this about a third.
Well, did they get it? No, we'll roll it out. So there's a chance now for Estonia.
Oh, what a great first shot to set up at least a chance. A triple on the first.
And that's all you really want, is to have a chance.
But to make that one, you have to make the red double. It adds another some more difficulty. Yeah, tap and roll into the 8-foot. I think that's probably your easiest chance.
Like hack weight?
Päris lähedal kaitse on.
See tundub nii lühike vahemaa. Ja seda on alla veerandi näha.
Mingi tagajoon siis.
So hack weight, if you don't jam on the back red, it's likely to roll into the 8-foot for 2.
And that would force an extra end here in this one.
Mingi 30. See run tundub veits keerulisem. Issand jumal, see ei ole veerand ju.
Seda on nagu väga vähe. Nagu ongi alla veerandi.
Ma ei näe seda piisavalt. Ma ei saa siis 2.
Well, the double wasn't made by Japan.
Nurk sinna. Kus ma panen siia?
Oh, and looked at it from the other end.
Ma ei jõua sinna tulla, 30 sekki on.
They are running low. They're under 30 seconds on their clock as well.
I could hit the yellow onto the red just off the nose and still roll into the 8-foot. So half, thick half.
Well, final shot here, this 10th end. Estonia will play Switzerland tonight in their last game.
This is pretty close. Needs to hold it straight.
Get by, and we'll touch. And how do they all spin in? Not going to do it. It's going to be a steal of 1. But a great effort by Estonia in 10. It will be a Japan win, as it will go down 9-6. Japan defeating Estonia. So Japan will be on tonight against Sweden. They sit at 5-7 now with that win. Well, 6th end, our feature game, Switzerland and Germany. And Switzerland had the lead, had the hammer coming in, kept things pretty open. And Alina Petz has this open draw for 2.
Well, it's just a matter of just terrific shooting, end after end, setting up for deuces. And once again, 2 points in the 6th end. 7-2 at that point.
Right back in 7, Germany trying to get something. Couldn't make the roll behind cover. But who does?
That's right. It was actually 6 tries in a row to get the roll. Switzerland tries it once, makes it, so the force is on. And wee ticks, but no problem. The weight was perfect. So a single point, 7-3 at that point.
And in end number 8, it is Alina Petz. They kept it open and have an opportunity. Blast away.
Daniela made a nice freeze, though. Almost froze to the face. A little bit on the angle. And Alina, as she has done the entire game in the high 90s, just wants to get the yellow out of the rings. No problem at all. Takes the 1 point, 8-3.
And the final. That will put Switzerland as the top seed with that win over Germany and eliminates them from playoff contention. And the other scores in session 23. Korea beats Czech Republic 7-4. Switzerland, as you saw, 8-3 winners over Germany. 9-5. Sweden defeats Italy. And Japan 9-6 over Estonia. So 1 round robin session to go. This is the one from Sunday morning that they moved to tonight. Obviously with the delay, so we'll have that for you. But we're getting set up for the standings. As they wrap things up, we're getting teams trying to figure out who's in what position as far as qualification, where they go. We know the 6 teams. So to determine who's into the playoffs and all the standings, we'll sort all that out for you this evening as well. As we see the 4 sheets of play inside the Winsport Arena. We'll have one more session tonight for Kevin Martin, myself, Luke Coley. It's been a pleasure to be back in the building and the LGT World Women's Curling Championship.